Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pointless Motorsports Podcast. You've got points, we don't. I'm SK.
I'm Paige. It's a great day to be a race fan, and this is the fastest yap.
All
Signing
right, we
off.
have another guest again. So, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everyone. It was not supposed to be just me today. I'm Average F1 Consumer, also known as Graham. That's my name. And we were supposed to do a little Backmarkers podcast reunion here, but my wonderful co-host Zane is not picking up the phone or responding to my texts. So now it's just an Average F1 Consumer episode. So yeah, hello, I'm Average F1 Consumer. I make short form content on mostly Instagram and TikTok, kind of comedic analysis of mostly Formula One. And yeah, that's me, I guess.
Great.
We love it.
How did you get into motorsports?
So I grew up around kind of like racing was kind of in my family. It's not like my dad was a like NASCAR driver or anything like that, but my dad and his dad raced vintage Camaros in America in this racing series called SVRA. So that I would be traveling with them. You know, I've been to a lot of tracks in America. Just as a little kid, I went to like Watkins Glen, VIR, Road Atlanta, Mid Ohio, Coda. It was always just a thing that I was around, and you know, my family was watching NASCAR in the 2000s when it was cool. And so I got really into that, and then my grandfather and my uncle really into F1, and I really liked Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, so I picked McLaren and have stayed loyal through the good times and the bad times. But it's kind of just something that was always around me, and I just loved cars. So one thing just led to another, and now I'm sitting here talking about motorsports.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Great.
You've been to so many cool tracks. That's awesome. Do you have a favorite one?
That's a tough question. I would go with Road Atlanta. I think Road
Okay.
Atlanta is the coolest, maybe not the coolest track in the world, but I would say the coolest track in America. It's so cool. And Petit Le Mans is like a grail race of mine to go to. I want to go to Petit Le Mans so bad.
That'd be so fun. I think we wanted to talk mostly about Japan because we haven't done a Japan recap yet. Um, First impressions. What do we think? How did it go as a McLaren fan?
Well, honestly, McLaren did pretty good. I was, because, you know, we obviously didn't start in China. And so I was like, can I curse on here or no?
I cuss all the time, so it's fine.
Okay, cool. It fucking sucked in China because we DNS'd and it was the worst thing ever. And Australia, Oscar Piastri crashes on the reconnaissance lap. So it's one of the most abysmal starts to a season. And Lando's rocking the number one and he's placing like eighth in in the sprint. I'm like, dude, you're losing aura. This is bad. So to see, first of all, both cars start the race in Japan was super refreshing.
Yeah.
And it looks like we've actually got some pace. So all things considered, I'm very proud of McLaren's weekend in Japan. I don't know I see SK's wearing an Aston
Right.
hoodie, so I don't know if I'll...
I was gonna say, just pay no attention to these.
Okay, no need to rub it
So
in.
do you like
No,
them?
no, 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 no.
We're both papaya girlies.
Oh, okay.
I'm a very big Oscar fan. SK is a very big Lando fan. We love each. We love both. It's
Yeah,
great.
the first race that we watched together, more backstory. We are in a fantasy league that is 16 different sports at the same time. It's called Omni Fantasy.
God.
For individual sports, you pick individuals. For team sports, you pick teams. And if you only get points if you finish top 8. There's no trades or anything. The only active part is the draft. In 2024, I asked a friend because I knew nothing about F1. I said, who should I pick? I ended up with Lando. She also picked Lando in her own league. And she came over May 2024 so that we could watch Miami together.
Wow.
So,
That's pretty awesome.
So
and then the
first-
next time we watched a race together, Lando got his second win.
Was
So
that
we just keep
Zandvoort?
watching races. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's
we
pretty cool.
had to get our Shroop waffles.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, so
not only did we start the race, we also finished the race.
Yes.
The bar is so low, and I've never been happier for
But not only
P2.
did we finish, but Oscar P2.
Yeah. It was crazy. I would have never in a million years guessed a McLaren podium this weekend.
He should have won that race, and he could have.
I think without safety car, we might have had an Oscar win.
I think so too. I
think he can
genuinely
hold
think
on
it was
to it.
possible. It was so close. It was so close. And like, I guess McLaren has also figured out the race start life hack
Yeah.
because that Oscar race start was insane.
Chef's kiss.
It was perfect.
It was beautiful. No notes.
That was hot.
Go ahead. Do it again.
So
Please
which
do it
one of
again.
y'all is the Lando fan? I want to hear y'all's thoughts on Lando versus Oscar lately because it's
We're both Lando fans, but I
Yeah.
think SK's more of a Lando fan, and
I'm a Lando main. She's an Oscar main.
I'm a Lando main as well.
I am scared.
I kind of am too.
I think that because he had a little bit of like a down bit where he just was not vibing with the car last year. And I'm like, if I keep the faith like I did last year, then everything will be fine and everything will go great. And he seemed to be doing a little bit better with it in Japan. And maybe this month off is going to give him time to become one with the car again. But we'll see. I wouldn't be mad if Oscar got a title this year, because Oscar also deserves it. So as long as he's not doing it horrifically, as long as he's finishing in the points and hopefully higher up in the points and get some podiums and maybe a win, I'm happy.
I think that's kind of all, not all that we can expect, but that's like a reasonable expectation. I think, yeah, he's having a rough time so far, but also we haven't even updated the car yet. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to be found, a lot to discover. There's possibly rule changes coming maybe. And yeah, even just watching them off the line in Japan was incredible. I mean, they shot up like 2 or 3 places. So that seems very promising. We're not totally screwed by the Mercedes engine, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing I hope, it seems like McLaren and, Alpine and Williams, well, Williams is, we don't need to,
RIP.
it seems like Alpine and McLaren are going to be a lot less affected by the infamous June 1st engine nerf that's coming up. And so I hope McLaren can kind of almost benefit from that just by not being as like affected by it. And also, I've been saying the whole time, if anyone can develop a car, it's McLaren. Because 2023, rolling up to Bahrain with a tractor, and then there might have been a few empty promises here and there. They were saying Baku's going to be the real car. This was back when, Baku was like earlier in the calendar. That was not the case, but by Austria, they actually did something. And the car was actually good. And it wasn't like an Aston Martin situation where they had a really good car and they were like, okay, well, what do we do now? And then it just became bad again. They actually were able to capitalize and continue capitalizing. And now we have back-to-back Constructors Championships.
Yeah.
So I would bet on McLaren to definitely be improving throughout the course of maybe not this year, but definitely the coming years, assuming the regs don't just get completely flip-flopped, which honestly isn't a 0% chance.
Which is true, but even if they like revert back to what they were before, like you said, we're coming off of back-to-back Constructors, so I feel like that still gives them a pretty good opportunity.
True.
To maximize that. I think, yeah, they've got a good team behind them, so fingers crossed. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I am really excited for Kimi and his back-to-back wins, speaking of which.
True.
That has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, he's been, I mean, everybody expected him to be good. And granted, another thing that I said in, I think, a couple of my videos is I'm very glad that he won China first, because it would kind of suck to win
Yeah.
your first race because of a little gimme from a safety car. Shout out
At
Lando
Lando.
Norris, by the way. Yeah,
I was going to
literally.
say, dude, that sounds familiar.
But it's back-to-back wins are still back-to-back wins, regardless of how you want to look at it and analyze it. It's still impressive. So massive props to Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. That gif of him like where he's like that.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of pressure on him, which I don't think anyone really expected at all.
I'm
Here's the
glad.
thing. I would be so much happier with a Kimmy championship than I would with a George championship.
That's fair. That's so fair.
I don't.
I dislike George. He's just a little annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to like quantify it just yet, but it's something about that. I would absolutely pick Kimmy over George. I don't know why. I do like George. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I do
But
too.
on the track, I'm like, please stay away from the podium. I don't want to see this anymore.
I think F1 doesn't want a George Russell, but F1 does need a George Russell in the paddock
Oh yeah,
because he is such a character and he loves the drama. It's his
Yeah.
favorite thing in the world is
He-
to just talk.
he loves to be a shit stirrer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the part of him that I'm like here for, and I think is really funny.
The borderline violence.
He lashes out. It's so good. It's so good.
He is the person that's making this soap opera on wheels.
Exactly. He makes it a reality TV show.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, he also, I think the reason that he irritates me so much is because so much of last year, he kind of just lucked into P3 all the time.
Does nothing, gets a podium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why are you here though? Like, we didn't even see you the whole race.
I respect his consistency though. That's always been one thing George is good at is just doing nothing and being P3, which
Yeah.
you have to do something to be able to do nothing and get P3.
That's
So-
true. That's true. Yeah. Consistency is there. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
You rolling? Hey everyone, this is Jesse Love, driver of the number 2 Chevrolet here in Atlanta, and this is the fastest yap.
So I have a question for you guys because this has
Yeah.
been hot off the press for basically the entire time after Japan. The Franco Colapinto Ollie Behrman crash.
Yeah.
Where do you guys place the blame?
FIA.
Totally fair, and I agree.
I think I was gonna say the car, not
No.
necessarily the driver. At first, I was like, "Wow, Franco was in the way. He was on the racing line, going slowly." But again, I think that is a fault of the car and not a fault of him not knowing how to drive. So I don't think
Yeah.
to put the blame on either of them is really fair. When again, you've had the likes of Max and all of them saying for 3 years now, "Hey, this is going to be really bad and this isn't going to work." And the FIA just kind of being like, "Yeah, no, it's fine." And unfortunately, it's going to take, I hope it doesn't, but it probably will take another major accident. Ollie's lucky that he doesn't have a broken leg. Ollie's lucky that he is okay enough to, I mean, hobble out of the car a little bit, but you can't convince me that he doesn't have a concussion at 50G.
Yeah, especially going into the wall sideways as well, because that's
Yeah.
like the worst thing you can do.
And he's 20 years old. Why are we giving a 20-year-old brain damage for entertainment? It's not even entertaining. Like,
Yeah, give me nurse rant. Give it to me.
I haven't done my research yet, but I really am wanting to dig deeper into like football injuries with concussions and like
yeah.
things like that, and just, bring to light, this can ruin your life. And like, these are, at the end of the day, obviously they're adults, but like, they're kids.
Yeah,
They're-
like
and
their
it's not
frontal
even their
lobe is
fault.
not developed at all.
Exactly. And now you're sending it into a wall at 50G and you're just like, it's fine. Good thing you have a break. Otherwise, we'd make you get in the car this weekend. Hopefully you're fine. And I went on the same rant last year about Jack Doohan.
Oh,
And
with
with-
the DRS crash, yeah.
Was it last year, Franco in Vegas, or was that 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago because he was in Williams, I believe.
Yeah, the crash, and then yeah, he's got a concussion, but he's still gonna do the race. That's okay.
Yeah, that's so,
Yeah.
especially a
It's
sport where reflexes are everything.
yeah.
Racing with a concussion is just the worst idea.
No.
Exactly. And if he hit the back of his head, I saw a couple of videos of that of like, this is your movement center, which is why he was having a hard time walking. If he hit the back of his head, he could barely walk straight. Obviously, his leg hurts him. Like, you obviously need your brain to do anything, but especially to do this sport, you can't just be a body in a car. You have to have the reaction and you have to be at the top of your game. You can't it's like having a broken leg and still going to play football.
Hmm.
You can't, it doesn't work that way. But they're going to keep pushing it because there's, 100 people in the line behind you that want to get in the car. So they push themselves through it. And I just don't think that like the likes of Ollie, Franco, Jack, like they're all 20-year-olds. Like they don't know the long-term effects of having brain damage essentially for the rest of your life and trying to just push through it and be okay. Like you might feel fine, but if you get in another crash, like that compiles, it doesn't just go away.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I mean, look at Antonio Brown, brain damage in football throughout the years, and he's, kind of insane. So it definitely has real life consequences, especially if this keeps happening. And I don't want to say that I'm glad this crash happened, but it was going to happen, and I'm glad that people have kind of realized. Because me included, I was kind of not really. It's not like I was ignoring it, but I was not really doing my research on like what, because everybody was talking about safety concerns, and I was like, what's the safety concern? And then that crash happened, and I'm like, now I get it, because these speed differences are so unsafe. And if you look into it, yeah, you can say Franco might have moved to the left a little bit into the middle of the track, but at the end of the day, that's all just nitpicking when the real problem is that Franco was going 30 or 40 miles an hour slower than Oliver Bearman into a high-speed corner, and that's so unsafe.
Right. And whether Ollie moved out of the way, rear-ended him, or slammed on the brakes, the result was going to be the same. They were going to
Exactly.
end up in a crash. And yeah, I think, oh, and just even the lag time between them calling a yellow flag. I just rewatched these highlights. They call a yellow. We don't see anything for like a full 30 seconds of why there's a yellow. They cut to Ollie in the wall, and then for like another 3 or 4 minutes, they didn't say anything about him. There was no radio message. There was no, oh, he's okay, thank goodness. That was like the most stressful 5 minutes of my life. I was like, this is bad. Really,
Yeah.
really, really, really bad.
Yeah, those moments are always so scary. Did y'all watch Silverstone 22 by chance?
No.
That was where Joe Guan Yu turned into a Beyblade and
Yes.
Oh,
spun
yes.
around and flew into the fence. It was like 10 minutes of nothing.
Yeah.
But then, once they confirm that he's okay, then they'll, show the replay and show what happened and,
Yeah.
show his radio and stuff. But those crashes are scary. And I was saying I was doing a live watch along, and I saw him limping. I saw Ollie getting out limping, and I was like, I could not tell you the last time I saw somebody get out of an F1 crash and
Yeah.
limp. Like,
It's
Yeah.
not good. And I mean, some of it is probably because he's tall, and I know they're saying
Yeah.
that he like hit his knee or something, but still, he's lucky that it's only that because it could be a lot
Mhm.
worse. If there's no fractures with it, they never said no concussion.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a
Thank
little,
goodness. I also like, thank goodness it happened at this time. Like he's got this full month to
Yeah.
recover.
and
And I
it
mean,
wasn't,
he's probably not going to just be resting for the full month. Like if he has a concussion, he probably should be, but at least he's not like actively in a car racing
Right.
other people.
and
during
it
this full month
wasn't
off.
Baku, it wasn't Vegas, it wasn't
Yeah.
50G into a wall, it was 50G into a tire stack, which, arguably is better.
Yeah.
But still, can you imagine, if they don't change anything, that's what you're going to get in
Yeah.
6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. I think Carlos Sainz was the one to bring that up, at least in his post race interview or something. But yeah, like if that happened in Monaco or any of the places that you just listed, like there's no telling what would have happened or could have happened. That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it almost looks like similar to that in the Monaco tunnel with Isaac in F2 when he like swerved. Like that's like
yeah,
almost the same amount of danger and problem as what this was. And like thank God that they can react enough, but it's not going to be enough.
yeah, exactly.
And now they're building that track that has the 50-meter elevation for
Yeah,
some
the
reason.
freaking Rainbow Road Grand Prix, like
Yeah. No, thank you. No,
yeah,
thank you. Put
that
it on the
is.
ground, please.
And Jeddah's
There's
not
no need
bad.
for
Why
it.
are we replacing Jeddah? I like Jeddah. It's cool.
It's
It's a nice
insane.
quality track. I don't. Whatever.
We're just going to keep doing insane things, but
Yeah,
whatever.
All they want is more money.
With
that is the harsh reality. Which I wanted to ask you guys another kind of follow up to this because obviously the FIA released, the statement and they were saying we're gonna take a look at things.
Yeah.
Obviously, do you think they're actually going to change anything before Miami?
I'm not convinced, and I posted about this a few days ago. Even just the wording in that statement that they released was not very promising to me.
Yeah.
That didn't really reassure me at all because they're talking about their shareholders and I was like, this is not it. Like, it says one of our like driver safety will always be like one of the core things. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I was like, no, but like it should be the number one priority
Yeah.
over everything else is driver safety, not entertainment, not money.
Yeah.
And
I
you
mean,
just like
I
let
worked
that all out into the open of like, yeah, we don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at a Christian summer camp, and our first core value was safety. If a Christian summer camp can put aside everything else and say safety is the number one priority here, a sport should be doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there will be some tweaks. I don't think it's going to be enough to make the likes of, Max happy. I don't think he's going to
Yeah.
suddenly love
Yeah.
driving the car overnight, but I hope that it makes it a little bit more safe and manageable. Even just between China and Japan too, when they've raised the battery recharge limits, I think it seems like it helped them be a little bit more competitive in that way. Obviously, increasing the danger now too.
Well, I believe that was only during qualifying that they did
Right.
that.
But I
Yeah.
did feel like it made a difference.
Oh, okay. In the
I
race.
would have to, yeah, even in qualifying, I would have to look at like their data or something more
Yeah,
in depth. But it did seem like quali was less the Mercedes just running away with it
that's
when
true.
the rest of the power units were able to like better manage their battery and not have such tight restrictions.
Yeah. And I think that's, the change for quality isn't even really rooted in safety. And, it's obviously good to, condense the pack, which it's better because I don't really want it to condense the pack, to be honest. I don't want like to artificially bring the pack together because that's not really what F1 is to me. If you're looking for a spec series, go watch IndyCar. But the good thing that they're at least taking strides for in qualifying is trying to preserve the flat out concept because that's been Max's biggest problem. And a lot of drivers have spoken out specifically about qualifying. I know Charles did as well. He was like, this is a fucking joke. Like,
Yeah.
it's not about who's downshifting at the best spot in the middle of a straight. It should be about who goes the hardest. And
Right. Who's making the most risk and, taking the
Yeah.
most chances into a
exactly.
I
corner
mean,
or whatever.
they're cutting out our view of the onboard for the qualifying lap.
That whole thing was so weird.
Like, just admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
We all know it. Everybody knows it. Everyone hates this. No one's having fun except for whoever has money in their pockets from
Mhm.
all of this, which I guess is why they're probably not going to change anything. But like everybody knows that this sucks. So like, why don't we just call it a day and be like, look, we messed up. Let's make the most of what we have here and try to actually make this enjoyable for people instead of trying to, be miserable for the next 8 months.
Yeah, I mean it's something that's nice to think could happen, but I honestly think that we might be screwed at least for this next year or two because, obviously these regs we went 50% battery not only because of net zero 2030, but also because Audi really wanted that because F1 really wanted Audi's money. So they kind of, bent their knee to Audi being like, okay, like we know you're really big into hybrid. We can do this as well because we're also doing the net zero.
I
And
think, why didn't Audi go into Formula E then?
I know it's I mean, there's not enough money to be made there, I guess.
Which brings me to another point too that I saw somebody say something about of Mercedes left Formula E. So they've had that advantage of knowing how to battery manage for that entire time for the last like 5 years or whatever. I don't know how long they've been out, but like Toto's known about that, and that's why he's so happy with these regulations and why they're doing so well is because they spent their time in Formula E learning from all of that versus, your McLaren just pulled out of Formula E and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Um, that's not to say that they have that much of an advantage, obviously, but like it's clear in the results that Mercedes knows a lot more about how to deal with this stuff because of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Ferrari, meanwhile, has a sailing team and a wine company. So I think their resources are a little bit in the wrong places, but they're still at the top. So it might not be a huge factor. But I don't know. I always gave Zane shit for whenever Ferrari would do bad, I'd be like, this is why you need to stop sailing, stop making wine, and focus on the track. Okay? We don't need Ferrari wine on the podium. We don't need Ferrari competing in sailing. You wonder why you're upset about Ferrari. This is why.
How do
They're
you
always going to believe Ferrari will do it no matter what. The
I'm
Ferrari
so
fans are
glad
the most
I'm not a
delusional.
Ferrari fan.
I'm like a little bit of one now. I have a tiny smidgen of hope this year that they might do something fun. It's not quite as bad as it's been, so that's good.
I have a friend who lived in Italy for a while and still gets the Italian news. I don't know if he gets like a physical paper mailed to him or if it's just like a newsletter in his inbox, but it's fully in Italian. He's like, whenever Ferrari does anything that's kind of okay, they are front page.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say, segue, how do you feel about this mysterious new McLaren Golf Instagram channel?
Yeah, I like I saw that. Hold on, I'm pulling it up on my phone right now because I remember I saw it and I was like
Huh?
obviously Lando and Zach love golf, but is this really what we're doing now? Do I follow?
The car's so bad that they're just branching out into other sports.
Coming April 29th. So
After the
cool,
Masters,
man.
what are they doing?
Who knows?
I exactly. I Ferrari sailing, McLaren golf. What other teams have silly little side ventures? Well, obviously, Kick Sauber had
Gambling.
gambling.
Red Bull has everything that's
That's
even
true.
slightly insane.
Their whole brand is built on let's just throw this guy out of a plane and see what happens.
Yeah, just doing things that you can get hurt doing. That's
Yeah.
Red Bull's biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of the weirdest Red Bull connections is um, Lance's brother-in-law is a
Yeah.
Red Bull snowboarder.
I didn't know that
Crazy.
for the longest time. I was like, because I'm a big snowboarding fan. I've grown up, going snowboarding and watching the Olympics and all the snowboarding competitions. And I was like, cool, Scotty James is into F1, but his board is OKX sponsored. Why is he in the Aston garage? And then I realized he's married to Lance's sister, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Holy
cool, I guess. Yeah. It's pretty crazy, but the Stroll family tree is crazy.
It
And
really is.
Correct.
Lawrence and what's mama's name are now in the
Yeah. Uncomfy. No, thank you.
No, thank you. We're not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
yeah.
Do we think the Aston Martin will ever get better?
I swear this actually just triggered a memory. I swear I had a dream last night that Aston Martin like got a podium.
Oh, let's
Because
go.
I've been preaching since the beginning of the season and before. This is one thing that I will die on the hill. Aston Martin will lock in and they will be a midfield team by the end of the year.
I
I
hope
will
so. I
die
really want
on
that.
that hill. It's going to happen. They have too much star power to not make it happen. You just got Wheatley, you've got Newey, you've got all these guys from Red Bull and Mercedes.
Yeah.
And they've been picking them
can't
off
mess
for
this up.
years.
Yeah, like they've just been slowly grabbing people from all corners of the sport.
Oh, you're not happy? Come here. Oh, you're not happy? We have money.
And obviously Honda's been the biggest hindrance. And I think obviously Newey has a little bit to blame as well, because he definitely could have made Honda's job a little easier by not, just doing these, coke like insane aerodynamics, just that you can't even fit the engine in the car probably. So I remember that in testing it was like Aston had this crazy aero package, and then the Honda engine would overheat. So then they'd have to put all these slits in the chassis, destroy the aerodynamics just to even be able to run the Honda engine at 70%. So I think both Honda and Adrian Newey have, kind of I would say Honda's up here, Newey's down here, but they both still have some blame in this kind of problem. So are you guys buying this Aston propaganda though? I need to hear.
I've been pretty sure that it's not looking promising right now, I'll say that. But it seems like you said, they've got the dream team, they've got the people behind them, and I think if Newey and Honda can kind of find a good middle ground, and it may not be this year, but in the next couple of years, I think they can bring it back. I hope. It'd be nice to have them, fighting again.
I agree. Just go to couples counseling. Aston and Honda. Just make it work. Just make it work. That's all I want.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't burned this yet, so I still haven't.
And that probably takes a lot these days to not do that. So
yeah,
my respect goes out to you.
Watching Lance DNF yet again.
Has he finished the Grand Prix yet? Genuine question.
He was a lap down?
No, because the first one it's the first one where they were like, yeah, we're gonna retire Alonso. No, we're gonna send him back out. Now we're gonna retire Lance. No, we're gonna send him back out. So he did finish one, but he was out of it for like 15 or so.
I'm reading it right now. He's 15 laps down in Australia. That's his only finish.
Technically, he finished.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they did count as a DNF instead of a finish.
I think it's like 9. I was gonna say it's like 90% or something to actually count as having finished it. So.
Yeah, but at least in the post race, he was talking about enjoying fighting with Alonso in their
little mini championship. Yeah,
that was funny. At least they're like still having a good time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to have fun somehow. So fighting with Fernando and Bottas and Perez in the little like just awful championship, the backmarkers championship. Yeah, literally. Formula 1.5.
Yeah. But I mean, at least we don't have depressed drivers after Japan.
That's true. Everybody seems to feel a little better about things.
Yeah. I just think I'm very proud of the drivers for speaking out on the crash.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was great.
It's a huge opportunity, like we were saying, of like, this is literally signposted, like this is what can happen when you don't listen and you need to get it together. Absolutely. Because even at one point, I think Lando said he didn't even want to overtake George, and he just did because he was going that much faster than him. So like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean the
yo-yo overtake?
What do you mean the car's not in your control? What? That doesn't seem safe.
It's just so, I don't even know
No, it's
at this
crazy.
point.
I think
But
you said in one of your videos recently, like they're just doing this to boost the overtakes graphic.
yeah, that was another crazy thing. The overtakes graphic in Australia, and just like, and
Yeah,
it was just so insane. It was so insane.
I would say
yeah,
they
like sure
need
we're
to.
getting lots of overtakes, but if they're not choosing to overtake, I don't think you can count that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it really an overtake? It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't realize that for a long time that like they don't control the deployment and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Grok turning on the battery or whatever. Like
Stupid.
that's so stupid. And
No, it's
whatever.
horrendous.
This is Ryan Priest with my mini bike. I drive the number 60, and this is the fastest yap.
Well, we have a month with no F1. What are you guys going to be
Yeah.
watching?
IndyCar, NASCAR, both and
Yeah.
see if I can find where my brain has the capacity to not be terrified the entire time watching MotoGP.
Yeah, I've never really watched MotoGP. I might give it a try this go around.
Right. I think it looks so cool, but also I feel like if I get any percent actually interested in it, I'm gonna be stressed the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to watch. Definitely this year trying to do more IndyCar, NASCAR. So I'll be keeping up with that. So like this weekend we still don't have much going on, but we'll be back again
Yeah.
here
Because
in about a
Easter.
week. So it's really not like anything. We're still busy. Watch IndyCar, watch NASCAR. It's fun.
Yeah. And Lance is doing GT3
Yeah.
with Come to You Racing at Paul Ricard later this month. And
Yeah.
he'll be racing not against Max, but against Max's team. So
Yeah.
I think
that's something to watch out for.
Lando and Oscar
Really
were going to
curious.
test somewhere too this week or something. I don't know. They're all on side quests now. Good on them.
Yeah,
Everybody's
I
ready to
love
go do
endurance
something.
too. So I'm all for it. I go to an endurance race. Don't go to an F1 race. I am an F1 creator, and I am saying go to an endurance race. Don't go to an F1 race, especially if it's coming out of your own pocket. The 24 Hours of Spa, I went last year, and it was the most incredible race I've ever been to. And I've been to
You
a
got
couple of F1 races, but Spa was a million times better.
you got to talk about bang for your buck for like number of hours on track
And it's
at
like
the
a
event.
tenth of the price.
Yeah.
Even at face value, a paddock
Right.
pass for the 24 Hours of Spa is $80. Like that's like
Yeah,
10
ours-
grand in F1.
Oh, yeah. We did IndyCar at Gateway last year. I'm in St. Louis.
Nice.
So Gateway is like a 20-minute drive. And it was like $40 for the 2 days tickets and $40 for the 2-day paddock pass.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, easy, no problem. We're doing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we also stand by that. Go to IndyCar. It's way cheap, way affordable, way accessible.
And the drivers are so accessible too, and
Yeah.
are super chill. And maybe they won't have time to take a picture, but if you say hi, they will say hi back.
Yeah. I actually have never been to an IndyCar race, so maybe I'll tick that box this year. I did
Do
make
it.
a video kind of trashing on IndyCar though. I don't know if they're very happy with me. Because I talked about the Freedom 250 and I was like, fuck you
Well,
guys, man.
that's
No,
a
we're-
problem in a different area.
Yeah.
That has nothing. Well, no, I don't want to say it has nothing to do with it, but like,
Yeah.
I definitely think IndyCar got kind of backed into, well, Roger Penske. We can leave it alone. We can
yeah.
leave it alone. But-
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Very
would
little
recommend-
of that. Very little of that race is good. No thanks.
I recommend going to IndyCar. I recommend supporting IndyCar drivers. If that's the race that's near you,
hmm
bring your protest signs and go on and go
Yeah,
anyway, because they're not going to care if you're there or not.
It is maybe the closest race to me. I won't lie, but yeah, I'll have to look into an IndyCar race, but they might not be, handling my ticket costs.
We'll flip the part where you're like, go to an IndyCar race.
Here. Let me do it right now. Hey guys, since F1's taking a break for a month, I'm getting really into IndyCar. And I'm ignoring the political agendas being pushed in the series because that's not until August. But right now, you can go to an IndyCar race. They're going to Long Beach with IMSA and having a little one-night stand there. That's pretty cool. Go watch IndyCar. It's pretty cool, and it's on Fox. All right, you can clip that and send it.
Absolutely. Please hire us.
Exactly. And even I've always been very outspoken about like it's not the people who work at IndyCar's fault. Any of the political stuff, like the Speedway Slammer last year, like that's don't blame anybody who's working at IndyCar. They have no say over it. Like they're just trying to.
I'm still salty that in general and the fact that they use the number 5 on the car.
Yes,
makes me evil.
Yes. Anyways, David Malukas is my guy.
David
Malukas is my guy. I watched him on Kart Life. Like back in 2014 or whenever it was, and ever since then, I've like kind of it was literally like every few years I'd like look up the guys from Kart Life and see if they're like doing anything. He's the only one that really panned out, and now he's on Team Penske, and he's awesome.
No, he's great. He almost podiumed last weekend. It was really fun.
No, we're fairly certain that we followed him in when we were going to Gateway.
That's cool.
On Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
Because like it was this very fancy, nice car, and it had a number 4 on it, and it had Illinois plates, and we're like, it just feels like this is gonna be David's car.
That would have been pretty cool. Have y'all what IndyCar drivers have you guys met?
Lots of them.
Most of them, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's super accessible too. So like I said, even if you don't have paddock passes, they do autograph line. So cool. And you can usually meet one half or the other half. So they have 2 lines and you kind of pick which one you want to go in. They'll put a sign up that says, these 10 drivers are on this side, these 10 drivers are on that side. They all have little photo cards and they sign, or if you want to bring stuff through the line, you can sign it.
I brought my dog's bandana.
Nice.
So we've done that the last couple times, and that's been really cool. And that's what we mean by like accessible, of like they're just right there and they're super nice and chill and they'll talk to you for a while.
Who's the coolest?
I had the best experience with Rinus VK. He was sitting just before Pato, and Pato was being Pato and was turned around talking to one of the drivers on the other side of the line and just not paying attention that there were people in line waiting at all. And I had Rena sign my dog's bandana, and then he was like asking me about my dog and telling me about his. Apparently, he has a hellion of a Chihuahua.
Oh my god! Insane.
He's just like super friendly. Everybody's been really nice. I was at Barber this past weekend, and I saw Rossi and Rasmussen just like leaving the paddock, and I didn't even say anything to them because I was like not paying that much attention. I was just like, oh. Hi. And then they just kept walking, but that was nice.
Who did you yell at that you liked their tweets?
Oh, Connor Daly.
I've had a couple interactions with Connor Daly online because he commented on I made a video about the top 10 tracks in the world and Indianapolis wasn't on there, and he commented, "Have you ever been to the Indy 500?" And I was like, his username is like Connor Daly Driver, and he has like 6,000 followers. I thought it was a fan page. So I responded with a video, and I was like, "Everybody meet my new best friend, Connor Daly. Why do you have 6,000 followers and aren't verified on TikTok? I thought you were a fan page." And he thought that was very funny. And we've DM'd a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, maybe I can get you to the 500." But that's the extent of our interactions.
That was so funny. No, it was last summer, he was like on a big tweet spree. And I was just getting such a kick out of it. And he goes like zooming past us on his little motor scooter in the paddock. And I'm just like, "Connor, I love your Twitter." and he just goes,
nice.
That was funny. I don't know. Who else is the coolest?
We bumped into Nolan a lot.
I do.
Really and he like would just get so smiley and wave back as he was scootering away. Just very nice.
They're all super nice.
Yeah, that's the thing about F1 drivers. I have actually had the privilege of meeting 2 of them, but that's like you can't meet them. It like doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
No.
I
It's
got to meet Charles and Alex, and that was it.
that's
But
so cool.
Charles, the man is fucking beautiful, man.
I was gonna say, is he even
Yeah.
prettier in person?
Yes, he is. It was in Monaco 2024
Oh my god.
for EA Sports, and we all did like an F1 24 race, like on these sim rigs,
Ah,
and I got fifth. I was pretty hyped about that. But my one interaction with Charles was just kind of like meeting him and be like, hey man, like, how are you? Because I was like, I don't want to fanboy, like, I don't want to ask for photos. I want to be like a chill guy. And I shook his hand and I'm like looking down to make sure I don't like miss his hand or whatever. And he's got this huge diamond bracelet on. I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's so cool. Then I look up and his eyes are the same color as the diamonds. I'm like, dude, what? This is ridiculous. Like, life is not fair. Like this guy is perfect. But the one interaction I had with Alex was we were in the sim rigs next to each other, and so we finished the race and we got out and he has no shoes on. And I'm like, when did that happen? And then he's covered in sweat. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
how hard were you trying in this race? And he was like, dude, I had to take my shoes off. Like, it's easier to drive the sim that way. And I was like, okay, man, but why are you drenched in sweat? And he's like, the stage lights, they're hot.
oh,
I was like, I'm not sweating. And he was like, dude, stop. But it was a good time. It was a good
oh
time.
my gosh, that's awesome.
But I
mean-
haven't met anyone else.
We've technically met I've met Grosjean twice now.
Nice.
Really
I have a cameo from Grosjean for my birthday.
What a freaking cool dude. I can't believe he's still racing. Good on him. But like,
Yeah, he's sick.
he's like a living legend. I love that. And then I was gonna say he was really cool. I do love Holton Herta, so technically we've met enough one
Yeah,
drivers because he's
he's
the
a
reserve.
future F1 driver.
True.
And then I guess I did find out the other day too that Rossi was in F1 for like a
Yeah.
couple seasons way back when. So I've met him a couple times. He's really nice.
Nice.
He did
Yeah.
since ECR is sponsored by what's the thing
Java
called?
House.
Java House. They did a special, like a separate after the autograph line. Java House did their own meet and greet with the two ECR drivers.
Nice.
And also you can get a free espresso martini. So come meet our drivers and have an espresso martini. And we're like, yeah, okay.
Sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Sign us up. It was great.
Oh, and I met Fred Vesti in Vegas this past year, and I did the most embarrassing thing of my entire life when I met him. So I was in Vegas and I got to do a hot lap, which was pretty sick, and I never got the footage and it made me so mad. But so I get my like little lanyard or whatever, and I'm waiting, and I know the car is a Mercedes, but I don't know who's in it yet because I just saw it leave. So I couldn't tell who was driving. And so I get in and I sit down and he goes, "Hey, I'm Fred." And in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, it's Fred Vesti, whatever." And then I sit down and my microphones are in my back pocket, like my DJI microphones that I've been carrying around to do like man on the street stuff. And I sat on them. And so I'm silently like freaking out. Like, I just bought these microphones. If I fucking broke them, I'm going to freak out. And I look over at Fred and I go, "Oh, Fred Vasseur. Yeah, nice to meet you."
No.
Dude, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Did he laugh at least, or was he like?
Not really. He was just like, "What?" And I was like, Vesti. You're in IMSA next year. You're racing IMSA GTP next year. And he was like, "Okay, cool. This guy knows ball." And then I kind of like gave him a bunch of shit for not being able to catch Felipe Drugovich, who was driving an Aston Martin SUV. So we were definitely in good graces by the end of the hot lap, but the introduction was really bad. And I will never be able to live that down. And I don't have the footage of it, which is kind of a blessing in disguise, but I kind of want to watch it.
You never have to really relive the moment.
The good news is we have like 15 listeners.
Well, backworkers didn't have that many more. So if it makes you feel any better, podcasting is fucking hard, man.
It really is.
People don't have attention spans.
That too. Which is what we kind of built the whole thing originally around, was like, we want to make this short and, to the point kind of thing, as opposed to these big, long podcasts. And here we are, an hour later.
I'm about to say we're about an hour in, so
We just keep we yap. We just keep yapping.
Yeah, it's fun. I loved doing a podcast, but eventually it just got to the point where like Zane has a job at F1 now, which is pretty sick. He's a travel coordinator, and
cool.
he's told me a couple little secrets about the drivers. I'll tell you one. Kimi Antonelli brings his own pillow everywhere. It's from
Yeah,
from
right.
home.
What a cutie. I love him.
Yeah.
I also do this. I don't go anywhere without my Ugga pillow pet.
You bring a pillow pet?
It's a UGA pillow pet. It's a little Ugga.
You went to UGA?
I did not go to UGA, but I am from Georgia.
Okay. Nice. I'm from Alabama originally. I was born there, so I'm an Auburn fan.
I'm sorry.
And, yeah.
Correct response.
Hey, we made the NIT championship game though. That's pretty cool.
I'm a Kentucky fan, so I'm suffering. It's fine.
Ooh, yeah, that's not great either. So we're kind of in the same boat.
It's fine.
It's okay. I can have some solidarity. My undergrad, we were D2, and the homecoming game, like they picked the homecoming game based on like what's going to be our easiest win of the season. We lost it. I think it was 30 something to 3.
Oh man. That's so awful.
Oh man.
Yeah, my undergrad football team horrific, and the guys weren't very nice either.
Yeah, yeah. I actually went to school at Appalachian State, if you've heard of it. But yeah, I had class with the quarterback. He wasn't very nice. So I was kind of happy to, well, now that quarterback is actually at Tennessee now, but yeah, our football team sucks and it's like, whatever. So it's fine. It's fine.
Anyways. What else? We had other notes on here. Oh, Pierre outscoring Max, Isaac outqualifying Max.
Arvid outqualifying Max.
Do we love to see it?
Is the Red Bull second seat curse broken?
Has it been shifted?
Is Max the second
Is it a
seat now? Oh
seat
no.
curse?
Yeah, like honestly, I love Max.
I do.
Max is super fun. I don't want him to leave at all. His fans though drive me insane. And so a part of me, it's kind of the reason why Colapinto gets so villainized so quickly. It's like, dude, because your fans make everybody hate you.
Their fans are
That's kind of the same deal with Max. I think a lot of people inherently dislike Max more because his fans are really annoying. So
That's fair.
I don't like to see Max suffer, but at least like there's a silver lining. The Max fans are going to have to jump through a bunch of mental gymnastics hoops to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely stand by like he's one of the greatest to ever do it. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
it sucks that he's not having a good time, but also I'm really happy for Isaac and Arvid and
Me too.
everybody that's, wow, I'm ahead of Max Verstappen. Like, that's cool. It really sucks for Max, but it's fun to watch Pierre be successful.
Yeah, and he deserves it. He's been drugged through
Absolutely.
the mud. And I love Arvid too. He's
Yeah.
my favorite rookie in the last I might like him more than Oscar as a rookie, honestly.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say he's my favorite rookie this year. I was like, no way.
I made a video doing that basically. I was like ranking the rookies of 2026. Number 1, Arvid Lindblad. All right, thanks for watching.
I sent this video to you.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, you did? But yeah, I love Arvid. He's my favorite rookie in the past like 5 to 10 years probably. He's just such a fighter. He doesn't care. He'll just go out there and piss off Isaac Hadjar. He doesn't care. He's just driving to drive.
The amount of
Which is why I took him in Omni.
the amount of aura that you have to go up to Lando Norris and be like, see you in 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible.
That was so
And
cool.
it being actually 5 years when he got there.
Yeah.
Insane.
I love it. He's great.
He's great.
Dog. She just made something fall over. It's fine. Question for you.
Okay.
In Omni, only the top 8 at the end of the season get points. Who do you think are going to be the Omni point scorers this year?
Wait, so like top 8 in Drivers' Championship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make a question here. I'm not going to necessarily say this is in order, but obviously we've got both Mercedes, both Ferraris. I'm going to say both
Yeah.
McLarens, so that leaves 2 spots. I'm inclined to say Ollie Behrman and Pierre Gasly, but I'm going to make sure I'm going to lock that in first. I need to think. I'm going to go Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly.
That was what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Good.
I think Ollie is not going to be able to make it stick, unfortunately.
I hope he does, but
I hope so too. I would love to see him instead of Max, but in reality, I think,
it's math.
yeah.
It's Max. I think he's gonna be shaken up after this. I'm glad he's got a month off to
Yeah.
try and shake it off, but I think he's probably gonna not push as hard.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you guys? Do y'all have the same type of deal, Max and Pierre in 7 and 8?
That's gonna be my initial guess. Yeah.
I think Max for sure, and I don't know. I think right now probably Pierre.
Little Fernando Alonso backdoor.
But I took Arvid, so I hope it's Arvid.
Ooh, that could be cool. But they also have a Ford powertrain, and that is a problem right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm gonna put my faith in Arvid.
Yeah, I took him in a very late round, right after Australia, and I said, "This is a good bet for a late round."
So wait, what other who do you have in other sports?
So we have there's
Let me
16
pull up.
sports, but
Okay.
we get 25
rounds.
of drafting, so you can double dip in a couple different things if you wanted to. So Formula One, golf, tennis, women's, tennis, men's, women's, NCAA basketball, men's NCAA basketball, NHL, baseball, MLS, World Cup,
MLB.
NASCAR,
No, you said it, MLB. No, WNBA, NBA,
WNBA, NBA,
League of Legends,
College Legends.
and NFL.
NFL, college.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get you in on it next year?
Yeah, well, this sounds a little too crazy for me, honestly, but I could give it a shot because
It's not as bad as everyone
full
thinks.
transparency, I don't know who's really good at League of Legends at the moment,
I don't
Neither
know.
do we.
but I can try.
That's
So
you just you don't have to know everything about everything,
Yeah.
but you have a
Right,
little
like-
bit of investment in everything.
Yeah, like we are into F1 enough to have a podcast about it because of we knew nothing about it and drafted people in Omni.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Who do you guys have in NASCAR?
I have Connor Zilic and Carson Hocevar.
Ooh, Carson Host. I mean, none of those are really panning out right now, but good picks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
love
think
Carson.
Chastain and Hocevar because
Nice.
Hocevar is another late round pick that I was just like, I like him. Let's just go with it.
And it's
Yeah,
like he's
I took-
doing so good. Like, it just something always has to go.
We just have to make it stick. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
I said
did-
he's insane enough to get us points.
Yeah.
That's true. If he can keep it on the track, I think that's true. No, I got to watch him and Kyle Busch do
In
the
the
truck
trucks.
race.
Nice.
That was so fun. Oh my gosh, it was great. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how much NASCAR you've been watching recently. I know you said you used to, but is NASCAR
have.
back?
NASCAR might be back. I still, the number one thing is the numbers being farther forward on the bodywork. I hate that so much. It
What
pisses
an
me off.
interesting hill to die on.
Maybe I'm an old NASCAR purist. I don't know, but that is like so.
Okay.
Like I was doing a stream with Alex Can't Drive. I don't know if y'all are familiar, but
I'm sure I've seen.
he was doing a NASCAR all-time liveries tournament, and I was in it, and I picked some bangers from like the 2010s, and this Denny Hamlin Coca-Cola car with the number that's super far forward went and won the whole thing, and I was just like, dude, this car sucks. I can't co-sign this. But and the one lug nut, that's not cool. I like the now we don't have that anymore. That's not as fun, but NASCAR's back. It's pretty fun.
It's so bad.
I'm a big Hocevar fan. I love Ryan Blaney. That was my championship pick for this year was Ryan Blaney.
He's
but
good. He's been really good. Tyler Reddick
just
man,
needs.
just came out
You're a
of
Reddit.
nowhere.
Yeah, 2311's been insane, and I honestly love
You
it.
cannot be a Tyler Reddick fan right now. It's just
Yeah,
too good.
yeah. Bubba freaking took out Carson though. That made me so mad,
Oh no, not cool.
but it's fine. 2311 being good is great for the publicity as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Everybody loves him.
especially with the lawsuit. Like MJ is so up. Like
Oh yeah.
he just won the lawsuit, and then now his team is looking to win a championship this year. It's insane. So
Absolutely
yeah,
true. It's
major props. So who are y'all's championship picks for NASCAR? I know we're just kind of going off the rails
oh,
right now, but
I gotta look. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like
I
I gotta go Reddick right now.
I
I
was
think
gonna
he's
say the
got
same thing.
several more wins in him still.
yeah,
Because the first one, I was like, oh, okay, like cool. The second one, I
yeah,
was
the
like, yeah, that
Daytona.
was pretty lucky. And then it was like third one, fourth one, and I'm like, no, actually, this is awesome.
Yeah, this might be real. Yeah,
He's already broken a record. Why not?
yeah,
Why not take the wins too?
yeah. I picked Blaney before the season started. I probably would pick Reddick right now because I do just really want to see that. But I like Blaney's mustache, and I've always liked the Penske cars. Besides Joey Logano, now that he's bald, he's a little cooler. But I don't like Joey Logano.
All right, fair.
I've had a vendetta against him since he like crashed into Tony Stewart that one time because my dad was a big Tony Stewart fan, and so I watched the live moment where Tony Stewart was like, "I'm gonna bust his ass," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, fuck this guy, fuck Joey Logano, I don't like him."
Yeah,
And
I do really like SVG. I don't think he's got a run for a championship this year, but it's very
but
fun to
he's
watch
cool.
him drive.
Yeah, I wish more people would come over like JPM did and SVG from Supercars. Like SVG is a particularly interesting case because he literally is just like Aussie NASCAR on steroids a little bit
Yeah.
and coming over and trying a different form of like stock car. That's pretty cool. But
Have you seen anything about this Euro NASCAR?
I've definitely heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, I don't either. I was just gonna see if you had
Yeah,
any
no,
thoughts about that, but
I
it's
don't.
okay. I don't either.
Sounds cool though. I don't. Seems cool.
I think the first race is like next weekend.
Really. I'll have to tap in alongside. What is happening? Where is NASCAR next weekend?
Uh,
Kansas?
Not Martinsville. That was the last race. I have all the calendars on here.
It's either Kansas or not
Bristol.
Richmond.
It's
Bristol. Okay, yeah, the Bristol Day race. Sweet.
Food City
Most of our win? Question mark.
Sign me up. I'm ready.
I'll take it.
Do y'all think he actually went to dinner with Sabrina Carpenter?
No.
No, I don't think so either. But people did actually think it for a second.
It does look like her, but I think there's like some other person that he knows that looks a lot like her that it was.
Yeah,
I don't think it was AI. It might have. I don't know.
I don't know at this point.
I ship it though.
That would be insane. And he did the edit thing of like the I need to arrest somebody for being too hot.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably better looking than Barry Keoghan.
I agree.
Sorry.
Barry Keoghan, I
That's
can't look at him the same way after Saltburn, dude. That was
fair. That's fair.
He's
So
Irish. That's
NASCAR.
all he's got going for him.
so NASCAR. Yeah, I don't know. My NASCAR ball knowledge is still pretty thin,
But
like
yeah,
now compared to like 08, 09. Like the beginning of the Car of Tomorrow was kind of like my peak interest in NASCAR. I could name probably most of the drivers back then, but yeah, now it's like, who the fuck is Christopher Bell and why is he winning all the races? Like last year, I was like, yeah, like everyone was like, this kid's gonna run away with the championship, and then he like didn't win a race again after like the first
Right.
6 races. Poor guy, but yeah,
Hopefully that doesn't happen to Tyler.
I also hope that doesn't happen to Tyler. I hope it's like a good fight. I just don't want him to get swallowed up after the first, like 8 races or whatever. That
Right.
would suck.
Lots to come though. I'm excited.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get to a NASCAR race too. I miss,
Yeah.
and I'm in North Carolina, so like
You've got to.
I'm in the heartbeat of NASCAR.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah. And
I-
App State is like 30 minutes from North Wilkesboro.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
there's
they
a lot
coming
of
to
good ones
Gateway
down there.
again?
They're coming in like September.
Yeah. I'll probably go to a NASCAR race this year
You
then.
should. It's fun.
I might go to the Roval or Coke 600.
Roval.
If I don't go to Indy for the 500, if Connor Daly, if you don't break your promise, then I'll be in Indy. But if not, I'm going to try to go to the Coke 600.
Connor Daly, you have 3 fans of yours right here. Let us finish.
Connor Daly,
Do it.
we're best
Do it,
friends,
Connor.
remember? You said that you would get me out to the 500. So don't back out. Don't be a man of your word. See, I'm
Hey.
getting all kinds of promo for Indy right now.
Let's go.
I'm giving him all kinds of stuff.
He's not even
Right.
driving this.
Is he not? That shows you how much I follow IndyCar. Who took his seat?
Renus, I think.
Oh man.
Come on, next
Damn.
week.
Hold
What's
on.
he doing now? I know he's doing that podcast with Rossi or whoever it is.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
he like every once in a while does that. He was. This is my lack of ball knowledge here. Sorry. He was
No, yeah. No
Lucas
worries.
Hollinger. I can't speak words.
Man, who the hell is that? Put
No,
Connor
that-
Daly back in the car.
No. That's the team name.
Oh, yeah, see. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hold on. Uh,
Come on.
yeah, they kept Stingray and signed Renus over.
Here's the thing. I do love Stingray Rob. He's so sweet. His wife is great. He's doing so bad in that
He's
car.
awful.
I
And
hope he's having
also,
a good
why
time.
did his parents name him Stingray?
Is that his? There's no way that's his legal name.
That's his name. That's his name.
Oh my god, it is. His parents named him after the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Are we serious? Are we
Yeah,
serious?
his name is Stingray.
No one better for the job, I guess.
I'm gonna name my son Miata.
That's at least sounds cool.
It's a
though.
better name than Stingray.
That's true. That's true. Miata is kind of a cool name. I've been on my Carson Hocevar Facebook Marketplace shit looking for a Miata. That's like my next purchase. I want an old Miata so
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
yeah.
No, stop.
Any other things from Japan? We've gotten really far off track.
I was about to say, at what point do we stop?
I do really want to talk about the Tamagotchi.
You need to talk about Bruce. You have to talk about Bruce.
Bruce the Tamagotchi. Lando and
You're a
Oscar have a
McLaren fan?
child.
You don't know about Bruce?
No.
Land
Lando-
Oscar child. They got given a Tamagotchi. They named it Bruce.
I'm looking it up right now. Okay, I'll have to watch the video later, but I do see them.
Well, Lando
Sitting
read
around
the
this little
rules and read that you have to feed it, but if you feed it too much, it'll die. And he got traumatized, and he kept asking about, "Have you fed it? But don't feed it too much. Don't do it."
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so I guess because Japan, they got Tamagotchi, they decided to name it Bruce because McLaren.
Nice. That's
They're
pretty.
trying to
Also
keep it
said that,
alive.
like, it sounded partially because of McLaren, but also because Oscar said when he was karting, they called him Bruce because of the shark from Nemo. And so it's partially named after Oscar and partially named after Bruce McLaren.
That's awesome.
That's their son. I love him. Social media, at least on Threads. I don't know if you're on Threads a lot, but F1
I'm a
is
little
like
bit.
Threads is the F1 platform
Threads is
in my opinion. Um,
Really?
yes.
I know like James Coker is always on there, and I made a
Oh,
Threads
he's-
account, and like I made it and already had followers. I don't
Yeah,
know how that
it
works.
connects to your
It'll, like,
Instagram,
it can-
so as soon as
and
you
it'll,
make
like,
an account,
auto-follow.
Wait, I got logged out.
come on over.
Should be
Okay,
able to
I'm back in. I have 465 followers,
Play.
and I've posted I've posted 2 things. My first post was just me saying Threads, and then my second post I
Wait,
said
hold on. Did you also like that thread of you saying Threads?
yes, I liked and reposted it.
Good.
Good.
And then I said, how the fuck did 175 people follow this account before it even existed?
Yeah.
and that got 232 likes.
Good.
So I'm going pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And it was all of the replies. I don't know what this means, but it's all like K-pop stuff.
Good. Yeah.
What is that? Is that just like a thing? I don't know. I don't know. Threads is an interesting place though.
But Threads is obsessed with Bruce the Tamagotchi.
That's cool.
I, for the record, would like to state that I bought this Tamagotchi a month ago when I was in Japan.
Damn, you were just in Japan?
Yeah, before they did it. So I'm a trendsetter, it's fine. But what I also did, you're the first person to hear about this other than SK, is that I bought another one for the Aero McLaren drivers to have.
Damn, that's sick. What would you name it? What's the other shark from Nemo?
Oh, that's true. That's a good idea.
Well, there's two of them.
There's two.
Yeah, there's Chum. One of them is named Chum. Maybe that'll work. Bruce, Anchor, and Chum. Those are their names.
Names other than
Anchor kind of fits with Arrow, I guess.
I guess.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I left it in their hands. I put a note in the box and it said, "Please take care of Bruce's baby brother."
That's
we'll
awesome.
see if they get it or not. I don't know.
And our business card.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I have to shout that out because that was really fun.
That is pretty cool.
With that.
You're inspiring me to hop back on Threads. I'll have to check it out. I'll post something right now. Hello, everyone. It has come to my attention that F1 Threads is actually kind of cool. How do you post it in Oh, it already is posting in F1 Threads, I think.
It should be in the topic, it should say.
All right, just post it.
Let's go. All right, welcome back.
We're back.
We're going up. The only other thing I have was Kimmy running away from the champagne.
That always happens, though. That always happens.
Ferrari, like seeking solace in Ferrari as though it's a
Yeah, he ran into the Ferrari garage. That was so funny.
You said the Italians will save me. No, Kimmy,
Yeah,
will not.
they are not going to, man.
Okay.
You're on your own. They're probably pissed off.
Right.
They're like, damn, way to rub it in our faces, man. We get it. You won the race.
Yeah,
Oh, my team's chasing me with champagne. Cool beans, man.
Get out of my house.
Yeah, exactly.
So something that we do every week on the pod is we pick a yapper of the week. So this is just whatever driver, personality, anything that has like impressed you this week or done something funny or just something significant from this week of who your yapper of the week would be. So me and SK can go first so you can have a minute to think about
it. And it also, it doesn't have to be a driver. And it doesn't have to be positive. Last year we gave Yapper of the Week derogatory to Christian Horner
multiple times.
Nice.
Mine for the week though it's got to be Bruce the dog. Or you can say Lando Oscar, I guess. Lando and Oscar taking care of the Tamagotchi is they're my yapper family of the week this
nice
week.
Good. That's gonna be really fun to do on the leaderboard table. Thank you for that.
You have one?
Yeah, Alex for me for the video with him and Carlos of Carlos saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go for pole," and Alex going, "Pole?" The fear. He said so much with one word.
Oh man, y'all have some really good picks. Now I'm ashamed to make mine a yapper of the week derogatory because
No,
I
do
think
it.
I'm gonna have to. I said this also. Was it in a video? I think it was. Yeah, it was for my Bleacher Report video. I said Max Verstappen needs to shut the fuck up about retirement. Stop. We've heard it a million times. I love that you're pushing back on the regs. That's great. It's forcing change. We got the quali stuff. We're maybe getting stuff from Miami and then maybe going forward. But, dude, we don't need a press tour. We don't need a Travis Scott Sicko Mode concert to talk about you maybe retiring from F1. Like, I get it. Like, obviously the media is inflating it a bunch. and they're asking him these questions. But actually, I'm giving Yapper of the Week to the to the journalist who got kicked out of the press conference.
Yes.
I'm giving it to the journalist who got kicked out of the press conference. That is my Yapper of the Week. I'm changing it.
Perfect.
That was, oh man, that was one of the craziest headlines I think I've ever seen. And the transcript too, Max just being like, yeah, get out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to leave. It was just some of the
ridiculous.
funniest and honestly most ridiculous stuff. That was not cool from Max. That's my personal opinion. I'm not of the, and people are making like edits to it, like that shit's hard. I'm like, dude, it's not cool to censor journalists. That's not cool.
Like literally all of them are just trying to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
And
I
it'd
know
be
the
one
question's
thing-
annoying, but
Right.
like there could maybe he didn't ask that question, but somebody was gonna ask him if he felt bad, like if he regretted purposefully crashing into George and losing those points and therefore
Yeah.
losing the championship.
But it's one thing to ask that question and then be kicked out in like the very next press conference. It's another thing to be here 6 months later and be like, no,
Yeah.
get out. Like,
Yeah, the guy's
why
just
are
like,
we still
wait,
doing this?
from Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Like that's what you're talking about? Like that's what
Like,
makes no sense to me. I don't know. And I know it's like a lot of the people have been always saying like British bias, like everybody always villainizes like how like Vettel got villainized, Verstappen's been villainized. Anybody who rivals their British like, you know, main character at the
Yeah.
time, they're going to get villainized. And obviously like Max can interpret that question as being like, okay, this guy's about to write like a very like defamatory piece about how I ruined my championship in Barcelona, which you kind of did, man. But
But now you're going to get an even worse derogatory press
Yeah,
about
like-
kicking him out of the press conference.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's just it was not a smart move, dude. Just don't answer his question. You don't have to do that. You could have
Do
just
what you
not
do in
answered his
every-
question. Yeah, that's all you had to do. So that's my yapper of the week. Is
Good.
what's his name? Richard. What's his name? Richard kicked out of press.
That guy.
What's his name? F1. Oh, Giles or Giles
Jill.
Richards. Giles Richards of The Guardian. That's my yapper of the week because he got to do no yapping.
Yeah.
Shout out Giles.
All right. I think that's
Great.
all that I've got for this one.
Yeah.
This was really fun and we should do it again.
Yeah, no, I'd love to come back on the show like at any time, really, because I know should I call him one more time and see if he has any words? All right.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like that's rude. What time zone is he in?
It's like 10:40.
10:40.
He stays up. It's fine. Yo. Before you say anything, I'm on a podcast and everything you're saying is recorded.
What the fuck? I'm literally driving, okay.
Did you not remember that we were supposed to do a podcast like 2 hours ago?
Hi, James.
Yes, I was.
Where were you?
Because I was, there was like my mate, it's getting like confirmed, like at church, and he chose me to be like this godfather kind of thing. Me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Like all the other godfathers were like, you know, like in their 60s, like all these dons, right? And it was just me, just like this little kid. I was sort of like, what's his name? Flipping, Christy from Sopranos. It was sick, man. You should have seen me. I was all dripped out and everything.
Nice. Send a pic and we'll show it or something. Anyways, can we just get a
So unavailable, but I just forgot.
no worries. Could we just get a quick clown and crown of the week from Japan?
Let me just think. Let me think.
All right, yeah, no, take your time.
No, he's not allowed to be taking time.
Okay, I'm gonna say Crown Piastri, okay, because getting a podium for him is like that's a big thing. Like from the start of the season that he's had, I reckon a crown for him is like Yeah, it's good for him to get that under his belt, so I'm happy for him. Flipping clown. I'm gonna say. Who am I gonna say? I'm gonna say flipping. Maybe a little bit Verstappen. Unfortunately.
Hey, I like that pick. I like that pick. Kicking out journalists and shit. Not cool, man.
Like, being a baby. Being a baby.
Being a bit of a baby.
Being a baby. Yeah. That's that. I mean, I hate Japan. I think it's pretty boring. I just don't like it. I mean, it's good. I'm not one of them people that's crying about the regulations. I just deal with it. That's just sort of who I am as a person. But I like those more overtakes. But I just don't like watching Japan. I don't know why. It used to be cool, but
Fair enough. Okay, well,
Valid.
can we just get you, saying, apologizing for not being on the show, and no, can we get it in your American accent though?
sorry, y'all, that I wasn't able to be present in the podcast episode today. And I also apologize for not giving the due diligence of giving the notice, for not handing in, letting you guys know in decent time that I will not be present. We will be back stronger. And I wish you, Graham, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you holding the fort strong for the back markers and representing. Thank you. God bless.
God bless America, Zane. God bless America. All right. I'll talk to you later. I appreciate the cameo. All right. See ya.
Well, thanks.
The character.
Congratulations to your friend, Zane. Welcome home.
Oh, what a character. He is one of the funniest people I've ever met. And I don't know, it might just be his accent that makes everything 10 times funnier, but he's so funny.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do another episode of
Yeah, we'll get Zane in the next one. No worries.
Yeah.
Graham Pit Lane, box to retire the pod.
Awesome.
You should keep that in there.
SK Pit Lane.
Paige Fit Lane.
Box to retire the pod.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on social media at The Fastest Yap on Instagram, Threads, and X.
Subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts and be sure to rate and review to help us reach more yappers.